Everybody.
All right, today is episode 71, and we're going to be working with someone that has, it actually doesn't qualify as chronic pain, and Helena is going to explain the differences about that. But I think you know I'm Dana J. Smithers. I'm one of the Emotion Code Divas, and while I love working on people, I also love working on animals, and this is a dog that I'm working on right now. His name is Coco. I like to take pictures if I'm doing distance Reiki or distance emotion code, if I can't see the person, but that's his owner. So Coco does have chronic pain. He's had this for about the last year. It's in his left hip. So not only am I doing emotion code sessions with him and the owner, because if you got the new Dr. Brad emotion code, I was gonna say emotion code diva book. No, it's just the emotion code book. If you've got the book, he does talk a lot about different types of pain and emotions that go along with that. And also, if you're working with an animal, you're going to have a surrogate, and the surrogate's going to be the owner. And often, for whatever reason, animals will take on some of their owners' stress and worries and disease. I mean, this has been proven over and over with case studies. So while I'm working on him, now what she's done is she started to get worried about what if he has this or this or this or this or this. So that just compounds emotions that she's transferring to him. So when I'm working on an animal, I also like to work on that person. So that's chronic pain with this animal. But Helena, go ahead, introduce yourself and talk a little bit about chronic pain versus different types of pain.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. I'm Helena Jenikin. I'm a certified emotion code practitioner as well as a certified clinical hypnotherapist. And in my practice, I use hypnotherapy as well as the emotion code. I also just use the emotion code because it is so darn effective. Now, today's client, she had recently a fall, and it was about been less than a month. So while we can work on some of the symptoms of the pain and maybe there's some frustration there, that led up to the fall and stuff like that, and Dan will be looking at that. When we mean chronic pain, it's the unexplained pain. You've been to the doctor, you've been to the physio, you've been to the chiropractor, you tried patches and creams and lots of different therapies, and nothing's helping, and it's just there. Maybe it's been there for years. This is what we would consider chronic pain, and that's what the kind of pain that we'd love to work on, because we know that often it's trapped, negative, unprocessed emotions that are causing the pain. Kind of like today, Dana, I have a diamond. It's my paperweight on my desk. I love it. But imagine a size of something like this, an emotion that's energy, that has a weight to it, and a density and a size to it, pushing up against your neck, your shoulder, your back, your lower back, and having multiples of them. That can cause some chronic pain. So we'll be looking to release these and allowing our guest today to find some relief.
Right. So what I'm going to do, Helena, I've already gotten permission from her. I'm now her proxy.
Fantastic.
And I've asked her if she knows what the severity of her pain is. And she said 7. So I'm going to check in with my subconscious around that. And when I'm doing my releasing of the trapped emotions, I'm going to do a little bit differently today. You and I have, we've been doing this for a couple of years, and, we learn new things and we get new ideas about how to do things. And the other day you shared something with me about just starting off right away with those emotions that we know are there and releasing them. So this is my method of releasing. My subconscious and I have an agreement. If I ask the question about a trapped emotion, that's a yes for me, and that's a no. So what I'm going to do, Helena can show you the magnets, and I'm just going to go ahead and take a look at You got your magnets?
I
Excellent.
do. I do. It's great because magnets are energy, and because we're doing energy work, we're able to release those energy or those emotions and delete them so they don't go back into the physical system.
Exactly. Thanks, Helena. So what I'm going to do is Stephanie is the lady that we're working on today, and she mentioned that she had a fall. So it doesn't matter how the fall happened, but the emotions that she's got from the fall is, well, one, I know she's angry, so she's got anger. I know she's disgusted with some of the situation that happened. I also know that she's peeved, and I know that her pain is in her left leg and it hurts a lot. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and release some emotions, but this is the emotion code chart that I have that I use for myself. Helena, you've probably got the other one, yeah, that we've created. And Dr. Brad has lots of those. Yeah, exactly. So we've got different charts. You can also get the emotion code app on your phone, which I have as well. But what I've done is Dr. Brad has indicated the organs that are associated and the glands with each row that he's got here. So what I've done, because I love working with chakras, is I've put, now he's only got the heart, the solar plexus. The heart is the pink, the solar plexus is the yellow, and the sacral is the orange. So where she's got her pain, it really is in the sacral chakra area, but also the hips. So that's the root chakra. So I'm going to go ahead and what we're going to do today, because we're quite excited with Dr. Brad's new book, is he's got a glossary in the back. So I'm going to go ahead and just start releasing some of these emotions. Helena, I would love it if you looked up the one for peeved.
Yes.
And
Happen to be on that page.
Oh, all right. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect. So I'll just go ahead and I am her proxy and I have permission. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to check with Stephanie and I'll just start. You can go ahead and just talk about that peeved.
Good. So Dr. Brad in his book has a definition of peeved, which is irritated, annoyed, exasperated, irked, aggravated, or ticked off. Now, I wouldn't say pissed off, but maybe ticked off. And a lot of people, when this emotion comes up and they have that chronic pain, they'll go, yep. They're maybe even peeved at the pain, but as we're working on the situation around it as well, letting go of the peeved feeling around the situation that led up to the fall.
Great. Yeah. So I just released anger, disgusted. Now I'm going to go ahead and just ask the question. So do I, Stephanie, also have the trapped emotion of peeved? I get a yes. I'm going to ask the question, is it inherited? No, it belongs to me. May I release it? Yes. I'm going to go ahead with 3 swipes of the magnet because we're working with that governing meridian and we're demagnetizing that. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to ask some questions from Helena. You could just show up the chart from column A or column B. Yep. So I'm going to ask, are there any more trapped emotions that I can release that are causing this pain in my left leg, especially when I sit? Yes. Are they in A? No, they're in B. They're even. No, they're off. They're 1, they're 3, they're 5, they're 5. So now I'm in column 5, and so I'm looking at conflict, creative insecurity, terror, unsupported, wishy-washy. So the one that where I'm getting yes on is conflict. So I'm just going to ask, does this belong to me? Yes. Can I release it? Yes. I'm going to go ahead and release that.
Conflict is internal conflict is a mental or emotional struggle with the self arising from opposing demands or impulses. An external conflict is to fight or to disagree or to be disagreeable, struggle or battle against, to antagonize. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, isn't it? There's internal and there's external.
Yeah, so there's lots of conflict. So when I'm working with clients, sometimes I'll get an emotion that just intuitively feel stronger. So when I get something that starts with a capital or it's all capital letters, which conflict just came up as, then I know it's a fairly serious one. And Helena just showed you the size of that lovely faux diamond there. And Dr. Brad talks about emotions being the size of lemons or up to cantaloupe. So imagine that this is in her left hip, right, and down her leg, and it's preventing that movement. So conflict is a good one. So I've asked the question, did I release it? Yes. Okay. And do I need to know any more? I don't on that. So now I'm going to ask, are there any more that I can release? Are they in column A? Yes, they are. Are they even? They're even. So it's 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6, and we're back to 6. And 6 is also where the sacral chakra is. So I'm just going to ask the questions. Is it humiliation? Is it jealousy, longing, lust, overwhelm? It's overwhelmed. So I've got a yes on overwhelm. Does it belong to me? Yes. May I release it? Yes. So I go ahead and release that with 3 swipes of the magnet. All right. And then I always just check, did I release it? Yes. All right. Are there more? Yes. They're in A. No, they're B. They're even. They're 2. They're 4. They're 6. We're back to 6. So read out the emotions for me in 6, Helene, and I'll just see which one. So 6B.
6B, we've got pride, shame, shock, unworthy, and worthlessness.
Okay, so I've gone through all of them. I'm getting shock. So trapped emotion of shock. I ask the question, does it belong to me, Stephanie? Yes. May I release it? Yes. Do I need to know more? I don't. So I just go ahead and release that. All right. I release it? Yes. Are there more? Yes. Are they in A? A, yes, even this time, 2, 4, we're back to 6. So go ahead and read those in 6A, Helene, and I'll just see which one.
Sure. It's the let me try and say this word. Humiliation. Yeah. Jealousy, longing, lust, and overwhelm.
Okay, so the tighter one that I got here, the yes, is humiliation. So I'm just going to ask, does this belong to me? So it's saying no. So then what I'm going to do is check in, was this trapped emotion of humiliation? Remember that trapped emotions can be from the minute of conception up to that 3rd trimester, and then after birth, it's different things. So she could inherit this from her mother's side or her father. No, so I get yes on her mother. And then I just ask the question. It's interesting in Dr. Brad's book, he's got a lot of information on inherited trapped emotions. So he does say that you can, you don't really have to go down, 100 generations or something like that, but you could just ask the question, sometimes you could say, is it more than 3 or something if you find that you're going on and on. Yeah, I think he does a case study of 100 or something. So that's a lot of generations. So I'm just going to check with that. So on her mother's side, so is it her, was it inherited directly from her mother? No. From her grandmother? No. From her great grandmother. So I'm getting great grandmother. So then what we're going to do is I'm going to ask the question, may I release this trapped emotion of humiliation? Yes. So when I release it, or any of us emotion co-practitioners release it, wherever she is in the ether, I'm releasing it from the great-grandmother, the grandmother, the mother, and then also from Stephanie. And Dr. Brad also says that if Stephanie had children, then we can also release this trapped emotion from them, anything happening in the future. Because remember that trapped emotions can happen through time, space, and dimensions, past, present, and future, because it's just energy, right? So I'm going to ask the question, may I release this trapped emotion of humiliation? And I'm getting a yes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And maybe let's just check on what the next trapped emotion is here. Helena, why don't you go ahead and say hello to a few people, and then I'll just carry on here, right?
Good. So, we've got some great viewers today. Hello, everybody. We've got Leslie Marshall watching. Hello, Leslie. And Natasha Paula Samuel. Hello, Natasha. How are you today in sunny and warm Runfort, Essex, the UK? We've got, Parmelia. Good morning, Parmelia. How are you? Vancouver Island's a lovely place to be today, isn't it? And Parmelia, she's also an emotion code practitioner. and she's up in Parksville area on Vancouver Island, and I know that she works also on the internet as well as she has a beautiful office there. And good morning, Deborah. Deborah, nice to see you. I
Deborah.
know that you're busily working on getting your certification to become an emotion code practitioner. I know that you're so close. Maybe you've already
Excellent.
gotten it. Mm-hmm.
So, Helena, the next emotion came up is grief. And I'd like you to read from the glossary what Dr. Brad says about that, but also to let people know that you and I did an a session, the Divas did a session on grief. And then I also did one with a grief coach, Deborah. I forget what episode it is. It's called a special episode, but you can find that on my YouTube channel or Helena's YouTube channel, or just scroll through our many videos that we have. But what does it say about grief? Because
Grief.
that one
Mm-hmm.
was very important. Grief.
It says an intense emotional suffering caused by loss, disaster, misfortune, etc. An acute sorrow and deep sadness. A universal reaction to bereavement also can be feeling harassed, vexed, or exasperated. And
Well,
I
that's
know that
perfect. Sorry.
yeah. Oh, I was just going to say, I know that Deborah, she's a grief coach, and she would tend to agree with this. And sometimes it doesn't mean death. It could be a change in a
Yeah,
job
exactly. You
or
can grieve anything. What Deborah says in the video that I did with her, the talk, is that it's just the loss of hope and dreams. So it could be around a relationship. I'm working with someone, she's getting divorced. I sent her the video on grieving. It's all the same emotions, and we have to be mindful of what people say to us, in a relationship, that, oh, well, you'll find somebody else. That's really honestly the last thing that you want to hear when you're grieving. So in Stephanie's case, she had a rental in another country, and when she went there, the renters had damaged things. So it's just what you said. I mean, that falls in the category of grieving, right? There's a disaster, something she wasn't expecting. So just to know that you're going to get a lot of emotions. You've got hundreds and hundreds of trapped emotions in our body, and so I've just relieved that trapped emotion of grief. So I'm just going to see. I'll just do one last one here, Stephanie, again, just because we only have so much time on the show, but just know that whatever we are doing, it doesn't matter. It's still working, right? It's always that intention. Before I got doing this, I have a prayer that I do every day. I also do about 45 minutes of Reiki every morning. So I'm getting very connected and I always ask for the highest outcome and the highest good for whoever I'm working on or not. So I'll do one last one, Helena, and maybe we'll just go to that row again. So are there any more that I can release at this time? Yes. Are they in A? No, they're B. They're even. Even this time. It's 2, it's 4, it's 6, 2, and it's 5. 2 and it's 5. Okay. So this time it's you can read them if you want, Helena, our options.
yeah. B row 2.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. In column B, row 2, we have the emotions of failure, helplessness, hopelessness, lack of control, and low self-esteem.
So in this case, what came up stronger in the yes was low self-esteem. Things don't always have to make sense with the emotions that come up. Helena and I know that we just go with whatever comes up. We're not judging it. We're not trying to find an emotion to make it go along with whatever symptoms you have. That's not how the emotion code works. So I'm just going to see, does this trapped emotion of low self-esteem belong to me, Stephanie? Yes. May I release it? No. Okay. So now what I have to do is I'm going to work back from her age, and I think she was 48, was she?
48.
48. Okay. So this is how I like to do it. I like to work in decades. So I just say this trapped emotion of low self-esteem, did it happen between 38 and 48? And yes, it did. So I asked the question, did it happen between 38 and 42? Nope. So 42, 43, 44, 44, 45. So 40, around 44, 45, this trapped emotion of low self-esteem. So what Dr. Brett, Sorry?
Yeah, I was going to say what Dr. Brad says. I'd love to read out what low self-esteem is because he's got a really great definition
Please.
for
Yep.
it. Yeah, it's a low appraisal of one's own worth or value, feeling and focusing on one's flaws, holding a feeling of disrespect for the self, not confident, lack of self-love.
All right, that's a good one. Yeah, it's good that he's got his glossary in this book because it used to be that only the practitioners or people that took the course could have access to the full glossary. So Dr. Brad says when an age comes up, so low self-esteem, something happened to Stephanie, 44, 45. Dr. Brad says it can be a year ahead or a year after. So this could span from 43 to 46 if we looked at it. But the numbers that I got when I did the muscle test was 44, 45. So I'm going to ask the question, do I need to know any more? I don't. If I was prompted that I need to know any more, then I would ask questions like, does this have to do with a relationship, with finances, with family, with a friend? And just, I would intuitively have things that would be prompted to me to say. And would that be the same for you, Alina?
Absolutely, absolutely. Our intuition, the more we do this, gets stronger and stronger. Plus our experience. I have an idea of where to ask the questions, how to ask the questions.
Okay. Okay, so I've just checked on the severity, and even though Stephanie told us consciously it was a 7, emotionally when I checked it was a 10. So I have gotten it down to a 0. So what, for me, yes, it's lovely to get down to a 0, but remember that we have hundreds of emotions. So the ones that I've blocked, we've gotten rid of them. They're gone. They're not trapped anymore. However, it doesn't mean that there are other trapped emotions, which is why Helene and I, do 2, 3, 4 sessions. Sometimes I do 2 sessions of 3, depending on what it is. Inner child, I do that a lot for longer sessions as well. So Stephanie, you can let us know how you're feeling. We'd love to see that posted in the group here. So Helena, anybody else that we want to say hello to?
Yeah, good friend Kelly Carson, she said hello. And also, I know there's a few more people that are watching that haven't commented, so hello to them as well.
All right, so we're going to wrap up our show. We're making our shows a little bit shorter and a little bit more active than we have in the past. So Helena, how can people meet you? Reach you or meet you.
Reach me and meet me. My website is flourishhypnosis.com. /emotion code is where I have my information. I have a Facebook page, Flourish Hypnosis, as well as a YouTube channel.
Excellent, thank you. And you can find me at danasmithers.com /emotion-code. And Helena and I both have a lot of information on our YouTube channels. It is a lot about emotion code, but Helena is also a hypnotherapist, so she has lots of videos about that. And I have ones about law of attraction, my 52-week tip gratitude journal. I've done videos on all the tips there that you can find. So lots of different playlists there. So next week, we are looking for a viewer, and this is kind of a funny one, episode 72 on procrastination. So chances are the person that wants to step up is going to procrastinate about that. But we like to have our viewer in place sooner than later. So if this is you, if you procrastinate, I'm inviting you to release that trapped emotion, jump up, and let us know if you'd like to be our viewer next week. Helena will be working on you, whoever you are. So let us know. Don't be shy. Don't procrastinate. Just jump up. Get in. Do it. Because this stuff really works. So that's it for now. So bye from us.